Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Roman Reigns made his much-awaited return to WWE at this week's edition of SmackDown alongside Paul Heyman. Fans saw a blockbuster segment between the OTC, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. The three megastars also broke into a massive brawl, resulting in security personnel and Nick Aldis rushing toward the squared circle to separate the superstar. Following the segment, the Stamford-based promotion announced the much-awaited triple threat match at Showcase of Immortals featuring all three superstars. However, Reigns might punish his Wiseman ahead of WrestleMania 41. On SmackDown, CM Punk entered the ring last. He thanked Paul Heyman for presenting Reigns in front of him. The OTC looked perplexed as he turned to confront the Hall of Famer, who looked clueless. Before the undisputed tribal chief could have inquired much, Punk attacked Roman. In the upcoming episode, we could see a segment in which Roman Reigns confronts his Wiseman and questions his loyalty, as Paul Heyman has a soft corner for CM Punk. On Raw, when Reigns attacked Punk and Rollins during their steel cage bout, Heyman was seen comforting the best in the world. On the latest episode of SmackDown, Punk thanked the Hall of Famer as if they planned to bait the OTC. Reigns could punish Paul Heyman for keeping in touch with CM Punk and ask him to cut all ties, as they will clash at WrestleMania 41. Heyman's presence in between would make this storyline even more interesting for fans, and the upcoming weeks would be thrilling. That said, the scenario suggested above is mere speculation at this point. The triple threat match between Reigns, Punk, and Rollins promises fireworks. The bout is going to be a back-and-forth affair, and most probably, it wouldn't have a clear winner without any shocking twist. CM Punk could finally redeem his favor from Paul Heyman, ask him to be his Wiseman at WrestleMania 41, and ditch Roman Reigns. The Hall of Famer might shockingly alter the entire trajectory of the bout, betraying the undisputed tribal chief and aligning himself with the best in the world. This move would also lay the foundations for the showdown between Roman Reigns and Punk's singles feud. At Survivor Series 2024, the two teamed up, and their interactions garnered millions of views, which suggests fans are interested in seeing them clash. However, the angle above remains hypothetical at this moment. With the show of shows nearing, it will be interesting to see how the triple threat saga unfolds in the coming weeks. The Bloodline's unbreakable foundation may be crumbling, and at the center of the storm stands one man, Paul Heyman. For years, Heyman has been Roman Reigns' most trusted advisor, the man behind the man, the wise man who has guided the tribal chief to record-breaking dominance. But now, with WrestleMania 41 on the horizon and chaos brewing in the Bloodline, rumors are swirling that Roman may finally turn on Paul Heyman and punish him for a betrayal that has been hiding in plain sight. Could WrestleMania 41 mark the end of Heyman's legendary run with Roman Reigns? Let's explore the shocking possibility. For months, the Bloodline has been in complete disarray. Roman Reigns, after dominating WWE for over 1,200 days, has been MIA, leaving Solo Sikoa to take charge. And while Solo has tried to hold things together, it's becoming clear that the power vacuum left by Roman's absence has turned SmackDown into a war zone. Jimmy Uso has been unstable, flip-flopping in his loyalty, seemingly more aligned with Solo than with Roman. Jacob Fatu, a Bloodline enforcer, has already walked away from the faction, signaling further division. Solo Sikoa has started making decisions without consulting Roman, and in some cases, directly against what Roman would have done. But the most shocking part of it all? Paul Heyman has let it happen. For weeks, Heyman has been visibly nervous, fumbling his words, and struggling to keep control of the faction. He has been watching Solo Sikoa slowly take over, and he hasn't done a single thing to stop it. To Roman, that's not just a mistake, it's a betrayal. Paul Heyman has always been known as a master manipulator, a man who survives by aligning himself with the strongest force in WWE. But here's the problem. What happens when the strongest force isn't Roman Reigns anymore? Solo Sikoa has stepped up in Roman's absence, and instead of keeping things in check, Heyman has stood by and watched as Solo has made one dangerous decision after another. Solo took control of the Bloodline without Roman's approval. He dismissed Jacob Fatu, someone Roman likely trusted. He silenced Paul Heyman on SmackDown last week, even hanging up on Roman during a phone call. Heyman should have put a stop to this. Instead, he let Solo grow too powerful, so powerful that he might no longer need Roman at all. And when Roman Reigns returns, he's going to see Heyman's failure as the ultimate act of disloyalty. A few weeks ago, there was a moment on SmackDown that may have sealed Heyman's fate in Roman's eyes. During a backstage segment, Paul Heyman was seen trying to reassure Roman Reigns over the phone that everything was under control. He was sweating, stumbling over his words, clearly desperate to convince Roman that the Bloodline was still functioning. But then, Solo Sikoa stepped in. With no hesitation, Solo grabbed Heyman's phone, ended the call with Roman, and coldly told Heyman, "We don't need to keep calling him. I got this." The look on Heyman's face, pure terror. He knew at that moment that the Bloodline had changed. But instead of standing up to Solo, he stayed silent. And that silence might be his biggest mistake yet. Roman Reigns is not a man who forgives betrayal. He has humiliated, punished, and destroyed those who have crossed him before. He turned on Sami Zayn when he dared to challenge his authority. He brutalized Jey Uso until he acknowledged him as the tribal chief. He exiled Jimmy Uso when he showed weakness. So if Roman sees Paul Heyman as a traitor, there will be consequences. And those consequences could be severe. Scenario 1. A public humiliation on SmackDown. Roman Reigns loves to assert dominance over his followers in front of the WWE Universe. When he finally returns to SmackDown, he could publicly berate and humiliate Paul Heyman, forcing him to acknowledge his failure in front of everyone. Imagine Roman standing in the ring, microphone in hand, as Heyman begs for forgiveness, only for Roman to brush him aside like a discarded pawn. Would Heyman grovel? Would he try to justify himself? Or would Roman finally decide that he no longer needs a wise man at all? Scenario 2. Roman Reigns fires Paul Heyman. If Roman truly believes that Heyman has failed him, he might decide that it's time for a new advocate. Solo Sikoa has already shown disrespect toward Heyman. Jimmy Uso doesn't seem to value his advice, and if Roman sees him as a liability, he might simply cut him loose. It wouldn't be the first time Heyman has been dumped by his own creation. He's been betrayed by Brock Lesnar before, and history may repeat itself with Roman Reigns. But this time, there may not be a second chance. Scenario 3. Roman Reigns destroys Paul Heyman. And then, there's the worst-case scenario for Heyman. Roman Reigns doesn't just punish with words. He punishes with violence. Imagine a SmackDown segment where Roman calls Heyman to the ring. At first, it seems like Roman is going to forgive him. But then, without warning, he spears Heyman to the mat. Maybe he orders Solo Sikoa to deliver the final blow, forcing Heyman to realize that the same monster he helped create has now turned against him. Would Solo hesitate? Or would he prove his loyalty by finishing the job? If Roman destroys or exiles Heyman, it could have massive implications heading into WrestleMania 41. Will Solo Sikoa fully take over the Bloodline? Will Heyman switch sides, perhaps even aligning with Roman's opponent? Will Roman lose control entirely without his wise man by his side? One thing is for sure, the Bloodline will never be the same again. For years, Paul Heyman has been the mastermind behind Roman Reigns' dominance. But now, with Solo Sikoa growing more powerful and Roman returning with vengeance on his mind, Heyman might be running out of time and excuses. If Roman sees him as weak, if Roman sees him as a traitor, then Paul Heyman is in serious trouble. And at WrestleMania 41, we might just witness the most shocking betrayal in Bloodline history. Tune into SmackDown next week to see if Paul Heyman's fate is sealed.